I've been the director of Oregon's Operation Purple program for the last 4 years since we started in 2006. The biggest goal that the Tsuga Community Commission has with working with Oregon's military youth community is to help build community identity and increase social capital through formal organized programming. And Operation Purple has been a huge cornerstone in the state of Oregon in helping us do that. In 2009 and 2010, we have the 41st Infantry Brigade that is deployed to Iraq, and it's Oregon's largest deployment since World War II. We know that the vast majority, maybe 85 to 90% of the kids who will be at Operation Purple in Oregon will have parents who are currently deployed. Incorporating the Leave No Trace principles into our environmental education program was very useful. It related to our food waste reduction campaign in the dining hall, picking up trash on site, and it helped the kids identify with their behaviors in the front country, in the back country.
And what we've done is to create a field study, one of the 3 field studies, which is focused solely on environmental education, and we call that eco-cycles. And the idea of it is to show the kids how there are multiple different cycles within ecosystems, and they all interact with each other, and there's big cycles and there's little cycles, but within all of that, humans are a big part, and there are things that we can do every day in our lives that affect those things in nature that see. So as part of my role as the environmental education field instructor, I created this campaign to reduce food waste in the dining hall, and every day I told them how much their food waste was and encouraged them to reduce it the next day. And our first week this year, we reduced it from 33 pounds to 8 pounds. And to demonstrate this, I created these characters, Garbage Girl and the Reduction Raider, and they would come out and have these superhero sequences and the Reduction Raider needed more strength, so Garbage Girl needed to get less waste in order to be defeated. And by the end of the week, they'd met their goal, so 2 of the counselors did this performance, and the Reduction Raider picked up Garbage Girl, dropped her in a garbage can, and was like, "We need to recycle this."
Think about the way that you need to look at meeting your needs when you're camping. I mean, they probably haven't even thought that much about the fact that their drinking water is treated at home. And so when you go camping, it also needs to be treated or purified in one way or another. So I had them boil water. I showed them how to use a lightweight backpacking stove. I had them pump water using a ceramic filter. And we talked about various tablets and iodine tablets, and I explained that was the most similar method to how water was purified at home. I taught them how to make fires, and how to wad up paper, and then to put small sticks on top of that, and then larger sticks. And I decided I was going to have them brew tea. So I said to them, "Well, just find whatever leaves and whatever pine needles you want, and put them in the pot and boil the water over the fire." The little girls, they were I think 8, maybe 7 years old. They went around collecting little berries and little leaves and little pine needles, and they ripped up their little leaves to make a good brew of tea, and they boiled it over the fire. And for me, I was completely content with them just boiling the water. That was what I wanted them to learn. Just to see it through their earnestness when a little girl came over to me with this pot of tea that I had really no idea what was in it, and she said, "But you promised you were going to drink it." So there I was holding this pot of tea, wondering what I was going to do. I had told them that I was going to drink it, but...
At Operation Purple here in Oregon, I am the team building and communication specialist. We're trying to get the cabins and the participants to learn to work together and to use communication skills to accomplish certain challenges. So not only are they learning new skills, but these are skills that they can take with them and use throughout the rest of their life, and skills that relate directly back to their parents. We also had challenges like using the spider web, having to put kids through holes, which means they have to trust their teammates to lift them up and stick them through. We did a trolley challenge where they have to communicate walking as one, so saying right and saying left. And within a lot of those challenges, we incorporated blindfolds, which meant that the kids had to use different forms of communication and really had to focus on what they were saying in order to complete the tasks. Here this week we had 2 girls who were in a cabin together who weren't getting along. And we thought that putting them as partners at YWAM at the High Ropes course would challenge themselves to lean on each other for support, because we knew that they needed to develop that relationship. And it was very interesting and very exciting to see them having to lean on each other for support, because it was scary. You know, when you're 20 feet up in the air about ready to fling yourself off of a platform, you need someone there for support. So it was really exciting to see them work together, and when they were done, they were hugging, they were laughing together, and they were having a good time.
It's really incredible to see a lot of the things that these kids can do, because in a lot of ways, it's not even me that's really helping them out. They're helping each other more than anything else. I've seen so many kids come up to each other and ask them how they're doing, ask them how they're feeling. Parents overseas should know that their kids are awesome, first and foremost, and that they found a place, I think, that they can bond together, and they found a place that they love, and they're really proud of their parents, and they get to show it at Operation Purple.
There's this one gentleman in my cabin who came into camp, and he just doesn't talk. The only thing he said after that during the week was, "I'm afraid of heights," right before we went to the High Ropes course. And I had partnered him up with a guy who's pretty outgoing, and by the end of YWAM, he had climbed up to the top of this ladder to the top of the giant swing, and he had done the flying squirrel activity, which, I mean, is scary enough for people my age. And I mean, he really came out of his shell, and he really just opened up and tried new things.
Our guest speaker panels this year at Operation Purple were outstanding. One senior enlisted member in the state of Oregon brought his wife and kids out and really did a good job of fielding questions from the kids and helping them identify in a real practical way with the deployment experience, but from a different perspective.
My name's Lieutenant Colonel Philip Appleton. I served in Balad, Iraq from 2003 to 2004. My impression of the group today, when we talked to the kids, was that they have a good understanding of what's going on with their parents, and they understand their kind of role and how things change in the family.
I'm Sergeant Kirk Robinson with the Oregon Air Guard. Spent a year in Iraq in the city of Mosul, which is northern Iraq. It was refreshing talking to the kids. Their questions were from the heart.
My name is Mandy Martin. I'm a former sergeant of the United States Army Reserves. Served in Balad, Iraq from March 2003 through May 2004.
They talked a lot with the kids about making friendships at camp and working to sustain those relationships and that social support after camp was over.
I think it's important for them to understand that many of these individuals came here feeling very alone in their dealing with their deployment. We as service members very rarely do anything alone in any mission that we do. And I think it's important for them to be able to realize that they don't have to do this alone. They have surrounded themselves by a brand new community of individuals who are going through the very same things that they are going through as an individual. And that this is a wonderful opportunity for them to be able to reach out to their friends that they have made while they were here. A wonderful opportunity for the friends to be able to reach back to the people that they connected with so well while they were here, and to be able to continue that relationship while they're gone, in a sense creating their own battle buddy while they're here, and their own combat brothers and sisters while their family members are overseas.
Our role here as the mental health consultants is to provide support to campers, support to staff. Sometimes that support looks like just a shoulder to lean on. Sometimes that's helping with coping skills. Most importantly, we're here to just make sure that these kids have a really wonderful week. One of the activities that the mental health consultants are responsible for here at Operation Purple Camp is the top 10 list. And this is the list that each cabin group comes up with of the top 10 things that they would want the world to know about what it's like to be a military kid.
And so we want to read you some of the quotes, because we just did this morning. It's not a walk in the park.
We miss out on a lot of stuff.
It feels like we are always waiting for them to come home, waiting for information about them, and it's really hard to wait.
I love this one. We have a lot of responsibility and we can't mess up.
One day at a time. We want to be a regular family, but we are not like everyone else.
We have to ignore our own feelings so that we can help our families deal with theirs.
We take the best and we go with it.
We all work together.
I have to step up and be a man.
We are proud of our parents.
And we do our best to stay connected and to stay strong, even though it's really, really hard.
One fat hen and a couple of ducks, 3 baby brown bears, 4 rapid running hares, 5 fat bitchy felines.
Ere I forget all the joys that are mine today.
One of the capstone activities we have at the end of the week we call wish boats. And this is where each squad or cabin group gets to build a boat, essentially out of a piece of tree bark that would float on the water, and they take it and they decorate it with local wildflowers. Each squad member or cabin member gets to write on it what is their wish for themselves for their future. We see the greatest benefit come from Operation Purple participants who have been able to come back for a second year. We are looking to expand the program from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. We have very high hopes for those kids who we saw in 2009 who will have the opportunity to come back in 2010 to really help reinforce those relationships that they built with each other and to be in a familiar place. The mass reintegration that's going to be taking place towards the end of 2010 is going to be a key focus within not just the field study curriculum, but the facilitation of the top 10 list and really focusing the discussions at camp around readjusting those roles for when mom or dad comes home and how they can best be prepared. Operation Purple is a good opportunity to spend a week being distracted from the deployment while reflecting on it at the same time.
It's completely changed my life. I was a totally different person before I came to Operation Purple.
So I would definitely come back next year.
Hopefully next year I'll be able to return as a counselor in training, whatever. As long as I get to help other kids out like they've helped me.
Even when the sun fades, say goodbye to the day. Remember what you've done here, it'll never slip away. Cause even when the sun fades and the stars replace the shade, remember those around you and they'll never slip away. Summer comes and summer goes, even as the time fades. Cause even when the sun fades, say goodbye to the day. Remember what you've done here, it'll never slip away. Cause even when the sun fades and the stars replace the shade, remember those around you and they'll never slip away. Summer comes and summer goes, even as the time fades, you'll never be alone.
What do people tease me about?
Like not knowing there's a T right there. Like, and when they do find out, being like, oh my gosh, there's a T!